So when you get called to do a record and you're going to a recording studio to record, you've got to have everything with you, because once you get there, there's no stopping the session and saying, oh, I need to run home and grab my bass drum pedal because this one is squeaky. So you want to have a full list of things that you know are going to get you through that session. A recording session survival kit, if you will. So you can download the PDF. It's going to have a whole list of things that I would recommend that you bring to a recording session. Now, it might feel like a lot of stuff, but you're there for the whole day. You're doing a record. So you want to have everything that you're going to need, okay? From drum parts, from cymbal parts, percussion instruments, the things to fix your drums with. So we're going to go through that list right now, and you'll be ready for any recording session that you do because you'll have this list and you'll be ready. Okay, here we go. The first category is personal comfort. When you're in a studio, you want to be as relaxed as possible, so bring the things that are going to help make that happen. At the top of the list, in-ear monitors. If you have these, bring them. They're low profile, easy to carry, great bass response, very little click bleed. If you have regular cans, bring those if they're comfortable. Otherwise, the studio will usually have headphones for you to use. The second thing is a bass drum pedal. This is a great thing to bring. If you like the way your bass drum pedal feels, bring it. A snare drum stand. Sometimes it's hard to find the right angle with other snare drum stands. Bring yours if it helps. A hi-hat stand. This is another biggie. If you have one that you love that's comfortable, bring it. In fact, I highly recommend bringing one anyway, because those are always messed up in my experience. This new Crosstown stuff by Yamaha is super light, and I highly recommend it. A throne. If you have a throne that you love to sit on, bring it. If you're on a session for a long time, you're going to need to be comfortable. If you really want to get fancy, this purple seat cushion. It actually cools, it's super comfortable, it makes you feel like you're sitting on a cloud. Category number 2, dampening and overtones. It's very important to be able to quickly and efficiently take control of the tone of the drums. At the top of that list, gaff tape. Gaff tape can be folded and put on the toms to quickly deaden the sound and also to kill overtones. Next on the list, moon gel. These blue little pieces of jelly will help deaden the sustain of any tom. Some more recent inventions by the company Big Fat Snare Drum will help deaden the toms by putting rings on the drums themselves. Another great new product is the snare weight. The M80 snare weight clips onto the rim. It's a piece of leather. You can click it up, you can click it down. It totally works with dampening the snare as well as toms. The snare weight is killer. Category 3, your sounds. Your sounds are what makes you unique, and when you have the ability to change your sounds, you will have even more choices to give the producer. I like to bring 2 different bass drum beaters. Lowboy beater makes a leather beater and a felt beater. They are fantastic, they're weighted very well, and they help give 2 different tones on the bass drum. As far as snare drums are concerned, I like to bring a 6.5 by 14 metal drum, a 5.5 by 14 wooden drum, and then specialty drums like this 1 by 14 pancake snare and this 3 by 12 rude boy snare drum. Certain producers ask me to bring this snare drum. It's a 50-ply AOT. It's crazy, and we use it for a field drum vibe. When it comes to cymbals, I bring a few rides, a few crashes, and a few sets of hi-hats. Here's a 24-inch Apollo ride. Here's a 22-inch Manhattan ride. Here's a 24-inch King ride. I'll also bring 4 or 5 crashes, maybe 3 different sets of hi-hats. Category 4 is specialty sounds. It's always nice to have a couple things in your bag of tricks to pull out, just in case a producer wants a little something special. Here's a stacker cymbal by Sabian, a China with a crash on top. Put together, sounds like an electronic hi-hat sound. Pretty cool. Big Fat Snare Drum is coming out with a lot of neat things. Here's a ching ring and a ring for the snare drum with jingles.
This one will make your snare drum sound fatter with a few jingles. The ching ring and the big ring. Some great big fat snare drum items that you can pick up. I love to carry a couple cymbal sizzles. On your left is one by Meinl, on your right is one by Tackle Instruments. These are great to give the cymbal a little more duration and sizzle. Category number 5, striking utensils. A great way to change the sound and vibe quickly is to grab something else to hit the drums with. You wouldn't believe the different sounds you can get just by changing the stick size. I like to bring a few different size sticks, a small stick, a thick stick, and even a nylon tip stick for brighter cymbal sounds. These different stick varieties will give you different sounds on the drums. I also like to bring a yarn mallet and a timpani mallet as well as some brushes. All of these items are super important to give variety and options just in case the producer needs something that he's not hearing in the moment. Category number 6, backup tools. It's very important to have a few tools just in case something breaks or in case you need it. You don't want to rely on the studio to get a tool, so bring a couple extra things and you'll be very glad you did. At the very top of that list, a drum key. Don't rely on the studio or the bass player to provide you a drum key. Bring your drum key. A hi-hat clutch. This is super important. Often you'll get to a studio and the hi-hat stand won't have a good clutch. Look at this beautiful one by Cherry Hill. I don't have it yet, but I put it up here because I want it. Second tool, a Leatherman. These are so handy. They do so many different things. They're easy to carry. You can cut wire with it. You can tighten screws with it. You can grab things with it. Definitely go out and get yourself a Leatherman. Throw it in your bag. A metronome app. I use Polynome. This is a great tool in case you can't get the engineer to send you a click and you need to work on a certain passage. Pull up the app, get the click, get to work. A bandana. This is good for a couple things. Wiping sweat, putting on a tom to kill some overtones or to deaden the tom. Get yourself a bandana. A towel. If you sweat a lot, bring a towel so you can dry off between takes so you're not all gross in the control room. A paper and a pen. Take notes, write things down, make the session go fast. Extra felts. If you're on a session and using the house kit, you might need some of these. If you're using the house kit, I highly recommend bringing cymbal sleeves. You never know what condition the cymbal stands are in, and this will save your cymbals if they don't have sleeves on those stands. Bring an extra shirt to the session. When you're done, change into a nice fresh shirt, and you're on your way. Category 7, extra percussion instruments. Just because you're playing drum set on a session doesn't mean you shouldn't bring percussion. If they need it and you have it, you may get a double. I always bring a few tambourines, a bunch of different shakers, some kashishi. These are great momentum instruments for 16th notes and 8th notes to make the groove really glue together. Believe it or not, I put a lot of triangle on sessions. And yes, everybody wants more cowbell.
Okay, I hope this list really helps you and that you're totally prepared for your next recording session. Good luck. I wish you all the best. Talk to you soon.